Imagine standing on a world where the air isn't just dangerous, it's a weapon. A place where the winds are so fast they could rip steel apart, and where the rain doesn't fall downward like it does on Earth. It shoots sideways at nearly 7,000 kilometers per hour. And not water, glass. Tiny razor-sharp shards of glass slicing through the atmosphere in every direction. This isn't science fiction. It's a real planet, and scientists call it HD 189733b. Here's the strange part. When astronomers first spotted this planet, the thing that caught their attention wasn't how violent it was. It was the color. A deep, beautiful, ocean blue world, sitting about 64 light years away from us. From a distance, it looked calm, peaceful, the kind of planet people imagine when they dream about alien oceans. But get closer, and the truth hits you like a wall. HD 189733b isn't calm. It's not peaceful. It's one of the most hostile places we've ever identified. Everything about this planet is aggressive. Its temperature, its orbit, its storms, even the chemistry of its atmosphere. It's basically a giant furnace wrapped in a permanent hurricane. Let's start with what HD 189733b actually is. It's a gas giant, similar in size to Jupiter. But unlike Jupiter, it's trapped right next to its star. So close that it completes one orbit in just over 2 Earth days. Imagine your entire year happening in 48 hours. That's how fast it's moving. Because it's so close, the planet is tidally locked. One side always faces the star. Eternal daylight, eternal heat. The other side is stuck in permanent darkness. No sunrise, no sunset. Just endless night. That extreme contrast is what fuels the violent atmosphere. On the day side, temperatures reach almost 1,000 degrees Celsius. The gases expand. They rise. They surge across the planet toward the dark side where the temperature drops sharply. The hot air doesn't drift gently. It fires across like a continuous shockwave. That's the engine behind the insane winds. And those winds never stop. They push the atmosphere around the planet non-stop in a loop. Day side to night side to day side. Over and over. Now here's where things get even stranger. The atmosphere isn't just hydrogen and helium the way we're used to with gas giants. It's loaded with something else. Silicates. The same stuff that makes sand and rock back on Earth. On this planet, those silicates don't stay solid. The heat on the day side is so intense, it vaporizes them, turns them into a glowing haze that mixes into the atmosphere like dust floating in boiling water. As these particles get pushed toward the night side, they hit cooler temperatures and start to condense. But they don't condense into droplets. They crystallize. They form tiny shards of glass, each one sharp enough to cut through metal over time. Now combine that with the wind speeds. 7,000 kilometers per hour. That's about 1,900 meters every single second. Faster than a bullet. Faster than the shock wave of most explosions. The glass doesn't fall. It gets hurled sideways, traveling horizontally around the entire planet. So HD 189733b isn't just stormy. It's a world wrapped in a sideways glass storm that never ends. Let's talk visuals, because the way this planet looks is as dramatic as the science behind it. From space, HD 189733b glows in deep cobalt blue tones. Not because of oceans, but because silicate particles scatter blue wavelengths of light. It tricks the eye into thinking you're looking at a peaceful water world. But when you peer beneath that blue haze, the truth shows up fast. Gigantic spiraling storms twist across the surface like planetary-scale hurricanes. Lightning arcs through the atmosphere, illuminating thick walls of glass-filled clouds. The heat on the day side creates massive shimmering waves that ripple across the sky. Every so often, pockets of vaporized silicates burst upward like glowing fountains before crystallizing and joining the sideways rain. It's beautiful, but in a violent, destructive way. Nature at its most extreme. So how did scientists figure this out? They used the Hubble Space Telescope to study the starlight passing through the planet's atmosphere during its orbit. When the planet moves in front of its star, the star's light filters through the atmosphere. Different molecules absorb different wavelengths. What they found was unique. Clear evidence of silicate vapor. Clear signs of extreme temperature gradients. Light scattering patterns that matched silicate particles. And wind models that didn't just show strong winds. They showed impossible winds. Winds that couldn't exist without a tidally locked world with an intensely heated day side. Every new observation confirmed it. HD 189733b isn't a chaotic planet having occasional storms. It's a planet where the storms never stop. And here's the part that truly stands out. The entire atmosphere is locked in a permanent cycle of destruction. Hot air expands violently. It races toward the dark side. It cools, crystallizes glass, and the process repeats endlessly. It's the ultimate feedback loop. People always ask whether alien life could survive in a place like this. The short answer is no. At least not life as we understand it. The temperature alone destroys complex molecules. The winds tear apart anything that tries to stay intact. And the glass? It ensures that even robotic probes wouldn't last long. Even if you dropped a heavily protected metal lander into the upper atmosphere, it would be shredded within minutes. The heat would warp its structure. The winds would rip off panels. And the glass storm would carve through whatever remained. HD 189733b isn't just hostile. It's anti-life, a place built almost entirely out of violent forces. But here's what makes this planet important. It forces us to rethink what planets can be. It tells us that our idea of normal is just a tiny slice of what's possible in the universe. Earth feels stable because we live on it. But out there, stability is rare. Calm atmospheres are rare. Oceans, clouds, and quiet skies aren't the standard. They're the exception. HD 189733b reminds us that planets come in forms we wouldn't expect. Worlds where heat acts like gravity. Worlds where storms carry weapons. Worlds that look calm from a distance, but hide violence underneath. It's a harsh reminder of how unusual Earth really is. Our winds are gentle. Our rain is soft. Our storms, even at their worst, don't compare to the constant chaos happening on a planet like this. If this world blew your mind, wait until you see the next one.